Ladies and gentlemen, in our lives there is a higher purpose, a divine calling, and a path that God has laid out for each of us. But how do we know we're walking in the right direction? How can we be sure we are truly pursuing His plan for us and not merely chasing after our own desires or the expectations of others? The truth is, God's plan for your life is always unfolding, and there are signs that can confirm whether or not you are truly aligned with His will. Today, I want to share with you 4 powerful signs that show you're on the path God has for you. The first sign is peace. In the midst of uncertainty and challenges, peace is one of the clearest indicators that you are pursuing God's plan. Life is full of unknowns, decisions, transitions, and moments of doubt. But when you are aligned with God's will, even in the midst of chaos, there is a peace that surpasses understanding. It's not the absence of challenges, but the presence of a calm assurance that you are walking in the right direction. This peace comes from knowing that God is in control and that He is guiding you step by step. So whenever you feel that inner peace, even when external circumstances may seem uncertain or difficult, it is a sign that you are moving in alignment with God's plan for your life. The second sign is increased clarity of purpose. As you pursue God's plan, you begin to see more clearly the purpose He has designed for you. It might not always be a fully detailed blueprint, but you will start to understand the direction you need to go in. God's plan is not always revealed in a single moment, but as you take steps forward, He will reveal more of your calling. When you are pursuing His plan, even if you don't have all the answers, you will feel a sense of purpose and direction. The more you walk in His will, the more your purpose becomes clear, and you begin to understand the significance of your life and the impact you are meant to make. The third sign is growth. When you are truly pursuing God's plan, there is a consistent pattern of growth in your life, and growth often comes through challenges. It is not always easy, and it is not always comfortable, but it is always necessary. God's plan for you involves transformation, and transformation requires change. You may find yourself facing obstacles that challenge you to become stronger, wiser, and more spiritually mature. This is part of God's divine process. He is shaping you into the person you need to be to fulfill your calling. If you are not growing, if you are not being stretched and refined, then you may not be fully aligned with God's plan. So embrace the growth even when it feels difficult, because it is a sign that you are becoming who God has called you to be. The fourth sign is divine connections and open doors. As you pursue God's plan for your life, you will begin to notice that doors open in ways that are beyond your control. People will enter your life who will help you on your journey, people whose paths cross yours for a reason, who support you, encourage you, and guide you. These divine connections are not coincidences, they are God's way of directing your steps. When you're walking in His plan, opportunities arise that feel like confirmations from Him, opening doors that you could never have opened on your own. These connections and opportunities are signs that you are on the right path. The fifth and final sign is peaceful assurance in your heart. When you are walking in God's will, you will feel a deep, unwavering assurance that you are exactly where you need to be. This assurance doesn't come from the absence of fear or doubt. It comes from knowing that you are trusting God's timing, His plan, and His provision. There is a deep sense of fulfillment that comes from knowing that you are living in alignment with God's purpose. You may face difficulties along the way, but you will always have the confidence that you are not walking alone. God is with you, and He is guiding you every step of the way. As you pursue God's plan for your life, remember these signs. Peace, clarity of purpose, growth, divine connections, and inner assurance are all indicators that you are walking in alignment with His will. Trust these signs and trust God's process. He has a beautiful plan for you, one that will bring you fulfillment, joy, and peace. Keep pursuing it and know that God is faithful to lead you where He wants you to go. Inner peace amidst uncertainty is one of the greatest gifts you can experience in your life, especially when you're navigating the unknown. In a world that is constantly shifting, where circumstances are often unpredictable and challenges seem endless, finding peace within yourself can feel like an impossible task. Yet, it is in these moments of uncertainty that God's peace becomes the most powerful sign that you are walking in His will. When we think of peace, we often think of calmness and serenity in ideal circumstances, the absence of chaos, stress, and conflict. But God's peace goes beyond that. It is not the absence of challenges, but the presence of God in the midst of them. The peace that comes from God doesn't depend on the world around you. It doesn't depend on having everything figured out or having all your questions answered. No, this peace is a deep, unshakable confidence in the fact that God is in control, no matter what the circumstances look like. When you are aligned with God's plan, this peace will rise up within you even in the midst of storms. It doesn't matter what you're facing, whether it's a difficult decision, an unexpected setback, or a season of waiting. That inner peace will be your anchor, steadying you when everything around you feels unstable. You may not know the outcome, but you will have an unexplainable calmness in your spirit, knowing that God is leading you, that His hand is upon your life, and that His timing is always perfect. You see, the world tells us that peace comes when we have all the answers, when we have control over our situations, and when we are certain of our future. But God teaches us that true peace comes when we surrender control to Him. True peace comes when we trust Him fully, even when the path ahead is unclear. It's in those moments of uncertainty that our faith is tested, and that's when God's peace becomes most evident. This peace is not a fleeting emotion that comes and goes based on our circumstances. It is a fruit of the Holy Spirit, a deep-rooted assurance that transcends human understanding. It is not the result of getting what we want or having our plans unfold exactly as we hope. Instead, it is the result of trusting that God's plans are always greater than our own. It's in those moments of doubt and uncertainty that you will feel a profound sense of calm, not because of what you see, but because of what you know in your heart, that God is with you, guiding you every step of the way. When you're walking in alignment with God's purpose, you will experience a peace that guards your heart and mind, even when the world seems to be falling apart. It doesn't mean you won't feel anxiety or fear. It means that in the midst of those emotions, you will still have a foundation of peace. A quiet confidence that God is sovereign over everything. And that peace will empower you to move forward, not in your own strength, but in His. It's easy to lose sight of God's peace when we focus on the uncertainty. We look around and all we see are questions without answers, paths that seem unclear, and situations that seem impossible. But the peace that God gives isn't determined by our circumstances, it transcends them. It is a peace that knows no boundaries. When you experience this peace, you are reminded that you are not alone in your uncertainty. God is walking with you. He is guiding you. He is shaping you for something greater than you can see right now. So when uncertainty knocks on your door, don't let it steal your peace. Instead, embrace the peace that only God can provide. Let it be your anchor, your strength, and your reassurance that even though the future may be unclear, God's plan for you is already unfolding. He is the author and finisher of your faith, and He will never leave you nor forsake you. In those moments of uncertainty, turn to Him, trust in His process, and rest in His peace. It will be the very thing that keeps you steady, focused, and ready for the next step in your journey. Increased clarity of purpose is one of the most powerful signs that you are pursuing God's plan for your life. You see, when God is at the center of your journey, you will begin to experience a deepening sense of purpose that goes beyond mere ambition or desire. Your purpose isn't just about what you want to do. It's about understanding why you are here, what you are meant to accomplish, and how you can serve His greater plan. This clarity doesn't come all at once, but as you take step after step, you begin to see more clearly the path He has set before you. When you are aligned with God's will, the fog of confusion starts to lift. At times we may feel lost or unsure, but as we continue to seek God, He begins to reveal our true calling. This clarity of purpose is like a light shining in the darkness, guiding us through even the most uncertain times. It doesn't mean that every question is answered immediately or that everything in life makes perfect sense from the outset, but it does mean that you begin to sense a direction, a trajectory that is grounded in something much bigger than yourself. This clarity is not just about career goals, relationships, or the superficial markers of success. It is deeper. It is about understanding your unique role in the grand story God is writing for the world. It's about knowing that your life has eternal significance, and that every moment is an opportunity to live out His will. When you are aligned with God's purpose, you can no longer live for just yourself. You begin to understand that your talents, your experiences, and even your struggles are tools He is using to shape you and fulfill His plan through you. As your clarity of purpose increases, you also become more discerning about where to invest your time and energy. You start to make decisions that reflect your calling. You stop wasting time on distractions because you recognize what matters most. The things that once seemed important lose their grip on you, and you find yourself drawn to what truly aligns with the path God has set for you. This clarity helps you prioritize your life in a way that brings fulfillment, peace, and joy. You will also begin to see how every experience, good or bad, is a part of the larger tapestry God is weaving in your life. When you look back at your journey, the pieces of your past, no matter how disconnected they may have seemed at the time, will begin to come together with greater understanding. You'll realize that God has been preparing you for this moment all along. Every challenge, every triumph, and every lesson learned has been part of the divine process of revealing His purpose in you. Increasing clarity of purpose also leads to a deep, unshakable confidence. When you know that you are pursuing God's will, you no longer need to compare yourself to others or seek validation from the world. Your purpose is secure, anchored in the knowledge that you are walking in alignment with the Creator of the universe. This confidence gives you the strength to move forward even when obstacles arise or when the path is not as clear as you would like it to be. It allows you to trust that God will continue to guide you even when you cannot see the full picture. As your clarity of purpose deepens, you begin to experience a sense of fulfillment that can only come from knowing you are living out God's plan for your life. It's a fulfillment that the world cannot give and that circumstances cannot take away. It's a fulfillment that is rooted in your identity in Christ and in the truth that you are exactly where God wants you to be. The beauty of increased clarity of purpose is that it transforms everything about how you live. No longer are you just moving from one day to the next. No longer are you chasing after things that don't satisfy. Instead, you are living with intention, with direction, and with a profound sense of peace that comes from knowing you are fulfilling your divine calling. When you begin to walk in this clarity, you will notice that doors begin to open, doors that you never saw before because your focus has shifted. You'll meet people, find opportunities, and discover resources that are all aligned with your purpose. This is not coincidence. It is the result of pursuing God's plan with a heart fully surrendered to His will. The more you walk in this clarity, the more you will see God's hand at work in your life, confirming that you are exactly where you are meant to be. As this clarity continues to unfold, it will bring a peace and assurance that nothing in this world can take away. It will remind you that God has a purpose for you, and that purpose is unfolding each day as you remain faithful and trust in His leading. Even when the journey is difficult, even when the road is not always smooth, you will carry with you a deep sense of knowing that your life matters, that your calling is significant, and that you are walking in God's perfect will. Persistent growth and transformation are powerful indicators that you are on the right path, following God's plan for your life. Too often, we want the journey to be smooth and free from challenges, but true growth, spiritual, emotional, and even physical, does not come without its difficulties. God's plan for your life is not just about achieving success or reaching a destination. It's about the person you become along the way. You see, God isn't just concerned with your accomplishments, He's concerned with your character. And character is built through growth, change, and transformation. The road to fulfilling God's plan is not static, it is dynamic. It requires you to be continually evolving, learning, and stretching beyond your comfort zone. You may find yourself in situations where the path seems unclear or the challenge is insurmountable, but this is where true growth begins. It is in the moments of struggle that God shapes you, refines you, and molds you into the person He needs you to be. Think about the seasons in your life when you faced adversity, when it felt as though the world was against you. Those were the moments God was transforming you, preparing you for something greater. Growth and transformation require a willingness to be uncomfortable, to let go of old habits and mindsets that no longer serve you, and to embrace the new. It's easy to want to stay where things are familiar, but real progress happens when you step out in faith, trusting that the challenges you face are designed to make you stronger, wiser, and more equipped for the future. Transformation often involves a shedding of the old fears, old doubts, old ways of thinking. When you're walking in God's plan, you are constantly being called to let go of the past so that you can step into a greater version of yourself. But growth is not always a quick or easy process. It requires patience. It requires faith in the unseen and the unknown. There will be times when you feel as though you've made little progress, or when you wonder if the hardships you are facing are worth it. But know this: every step forward, no matter how small, is a step toward becoming who God created you to be. The process may be slow, but the transformation is happening beneath the surface. God is doing a work in you that cannot always be seen with the naked eye, but it is real and powerful. Moreover, growth and transformation are not just about enduring hardships. They are about taking those experiences and using them to develop a deeper relationship with God. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to trust Him more fully, to rely on His strength and wisdom, and to see His faithfulness in action. Through these trials, you come to know God in ways you never would have otherwise. You begin to understand His love, His mercy, and His grace more deeply. And as you experience this transformation in your relationship with God, you become a reflection of His character to the world around you. As you walk through this journey of persistent growth, it is important to remember that transformation is not something that happens overnight. It is a lifelong process, one that continues as long as you are walking in God's purpose. The challenges you face today may not look the same as the ones you face tomorrow, but each one is a stepping stone in your journey of becoming who you are meant to be. With each step, you become more equipped to fulfill the unique calling God has placed on your life. And even when the road gets tough, you can be assured that God is always there, guiding you, strengthening you, and shaping you into the person who can fulfill the purpose He has set before you. Embrace the process of growth. Don't shy away from the challenges, the discomfort, or the uncertainty. God is using these experiences to refine you, to transform you, and to prepare you for the greater things He has in store. The more you allow yourself to be transformed by His love, the more you will begin to see the fruit of that transformation, both in your own life and in the lives of those around you. As you walk in God's plan, persistent growth and transformation will become the signs that you are moving closer to your divine destiny. Divine connections and open doors are powerful manifestations of God's presence in your life, especially when you're walking in alignment with His will. There are moments in life when things seem to fall into place effortlessly, when relationships form unexpectedly and opportunities arise at just the right time. These are not coincidences, they are divine appointments orchestrated by God to guide you towards your destiny. When you are pursuing God's plan for your life, He will make sure that the right people cross your path and the right doors open at the right moment. This is how you know you are walking in alignment with His will. God's connections are not random, they are purposeful. You see, God does not operate in randomness. He is intentional in everything He does. The people He brings into your life, whether they are mentors, partners, friends, or even strangers, are often the instruments He uses to move you closer to your purpose. These connections are divinely orchestrated to help you grow, to provide wisdom, or to open doors that you could never have opened on your own. When you meet someone and immediately sense that there's something special about the connection, trust that God is behind it. It's not just about what they can do for you, it's about how God is positioning you to move forward in His plan. These divine connections are meant to empower you, challenge you, and bring you closer to fulfilling the calling God has placed on your life. You might find that certain doors open at unexpected times, doors that offer new opportunities, doors that lead to breakthroughs, doors that push you forward into the next level of your calling. It may seem like things are happening effortlessly, and in a sense they are, because when you are in alignment with God's plan, He clears the path before you, He prepares the way, and all you need to do is walk through the doors that He opens. The right opportunities will find you when you are in the right place, doing the right things and trusting in His timing. However, it is important to understand that divine connections and open doors do not always look the way we expect them to. Sometimes the people God sends into your life may not be the ones you imagined. Sometimes the doors that open may be different from the ones you envisioned, but that's the beauty of walking in God's plan. His vision for your life is far greater than anything you can imagine. The connections He makes are not based on your limited understanding. They are based on His infinite wisdom. And the doors He opens are not just for your benefit, they are for His glory and the fulfillment of His purpose for your life. As you encounter these divine connections and walk through open doors, it is crucial that you remain sensitive to God's guidance. Sometimes the doors that open will require you to step out of your comfort zone, to trust God in ways you never have before. But remember, every time God opens a door for you, it's not just about stepping into a new opportunity, it's about stepping into His will. It's about moving forward in faith, knowing that God has already gone before you to prepare the way. When you see these connections and open doors, recognize them for what they are: blessings from God meant to move you closer to your purpose. Every person you meet, every opportunity you encounter, and every door that swings wide open is a testimony of God's faithfulness. These signs are not to be taken lightly. They are evidence that you are in the right place at the right time, doing exactly what God has called you to do. So when these divine connections and open doors appear, embrace them with gratitude and confidence, knowing that they are part of God's beautiful plan unfolding in your life. Trust that He is working behind the scenes, connecting the dots and opening the doors you need to walk into your destiny. As you move forward in your journey, remember that divine connections and open doors are not just random events, they are God's way of guiding you towards your purpose. They are the tangible signs that you are aligned with His will and walking in the path He has set before you. Each person you meet, each opportunity that arises is an invitation from God to step deeper into His plan. Don't take these moments for granted. Instead, embrace them with faith, knowing that God's timing and His divine orchestration are at work. Trust that He is making a way for you even when the road seems uncertain. When you walk in alignment with His purpose, every connection you make and every door that opens is a step closer to the fulfillment of your divine calling. keep your heart open, your eyes fixed on Him, and move forward with boldness, for the doors He opens will always lead you toward a life of purpose, impact, and glory.